Hello guys, it is Shivam here. So this is a new tutorial that I'm going to start on this channel, which is a Python. Now there is a lots of coding language that you can see, which is Java, C, C++, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but you will see that Python is one of the most demanding language that the each developer wants to learn. So in this tutorial, I will be teaching you how to code with a Python and what really Python is. So this will be a complete tutorial where I am going to suggest you the articles that you need to follow so that you can get to know more about a Python and some questions to practice so that you can simply code with a Python and can be a pro on this programming language. But before we move to the Python programming, let me tell you what really Python is and why the Python is one of the most demanding language that every developer used to learn. So let's move and know about a Python history. So you can see that a Python logo looks something like a snake. So Python language was created by an Guido van Rossum in 1991. So you might think that why he chose a snake name as an programming language name. So the reason behind a Python logo and the Python name is because he thought that snake is meant for an power and flexibility, and as it is the Python programming language is. Now this was an history of an Python. Now the main questions come behind this, why to learn a Python. So there will be a big question mark in your mind. So Python is really used for an web development, software development, mathematics and systems scripting. So Python is like a future of a programming language because you don't need to write a lots of script or a code in the Python as compared to a C++, Java or anything. So here you can see that I have moved to one website name which is w3school.com, and this is the website that you can follow because it has lot of nodes present for a different coding language, as you can see here, which is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Java, PHP, C, C++. So they have lots of coding language on their website, and this is a best website where you can simply learn a different programming language, and they have wrote a notes in such a simple way that a beginner can also learn what really the coding language is. So here you can see that here it has wrote what is Python. So I've already told you who had created this Python language. So here you can see the name, and it has been released in 1991, and here what it has been used for, and you can see that what can Python do. So Python can simply create a web applications, a database system handling big data, rapid prototyping, and production ready software development, etc. So there are lots of uses of Python that they can do, and the Python can work on Windows, Mac, Linux, etc. Also it has wrote a syntax in such a simple English language that I have told you, as compared to a C, C++ and Java. And here you can see that it can simply, a Python is a syntax that allow developer to write a program with fewer lines than some other programming languages. Yeah, so as I've told you that exact line has been written over here. So this is some quick introduction of an Python. Now let's move to the second thing, which is an Python getting started. So here it's simply tell you how to install in Python, but I will show you how to install a Python first in your device, like if you are using a Windows, Mac or a Linux. So let's move, and I will tell you a step-by-step version of how to simply download a Python in your system. So here you will move to a website, and I will simply search Python download, and here I will simply move to the first website, and you can see that this is an official website of an Python. So I will directly move to the Python website, and here you can see that it simply tell me to download this latest version for Mac OS. But if you are using Windows, Linux, Unix or anything, you can simply switch it from here. So now I am using a Mac, so I will simply download the Python from here. So it is simply downloading this pkg file. So wait for a few seconds. So our file has been downloaded. Now I'll simply open this file with a double tap. Now here you can simply click on continue. Now again on continue. Now continue. Now here you can see that they tell you to simply click on agree button for an software license agreement. So you can simply click on agree button and you can simply install it, as it will just take 180 MB of your space, and you can simply click on install. And let me enter the password of my device. Yeah, so you can see that software is simply installing. So wait for a few seconds. Yeah, so here it is done, and we have get a Python version. You can see Python 3.13. So this is a latest Python version that we are going to use on this tutorial. So we'll simply close this, and here we close this again. So here it is done, and we have simply installed a Python in our system. But the main thing is now to where to write a code. We need to write a code to execute a Python, right? So we need a code editor. So for the different code editor, there is like a VS Code. You can see a Visual Studio Code, which is a best software you can use to simply write a code. So if you have followed my some series from Flutter, you already know that I've already downloaded a VS Code in my system. But if you are new and learning this Python tutorial for the first time, you can simply move and you can simply search a Visual Studio Code. So you can simply write Visual Studio Code download, and here you can see the official website of Visual Studio Code, and it simply available for Mac, Linux, Windows. So don't worry if you use any of an different operating system, it will simply work over there. So here you can see the official website of an Visual Studio Code. So you can simply download for your Windows, or if you are using Linux and Mac. So as I've told you, it is already available in my system. So you can simply download and simply run that file. So it's simple and easy. So now let's move to the Visual Studio Code, and I will show you how to create a folder for your Python and how to start our first line of coding here. So once you simply install a Visual Studio Code, you will see that this is how the interface of your Visual Studio Code will be like, and you need to simply open one folder name. So you can simply create one folder in your desktop, or if you using any of a different C, D, E folder, you can simply need to create one folder name. Yeah. Now once you have created that folder, you need to simply click on open, and you need to move to the desktop, and here you will find that I have created one folder name which is in Python. So here I will simply open that folder which is a Python, and here you can see that we have didn't created any code, because now I'm going to teach you how to code in Python. So you will see that there is a section to create a new file. So I click on this new file, and you need to create one file name. So here I will simply write like a first code. So I'll write first code dot. Now here we need to write an extension. So first code is our file name dot. After this we need to write an extension. So if you have followed the Flutter part, I'm telling it because there are lots of Flutter videos in my channel. So you will find that we need to write first a file name dot dart. So dot dart will indicate that a Dart coding language is going to work over here. So we are not coding in Dart, we are using Python. So what we are going to use, which is py. So here you can see that after writing a py, you will find that it simply shows a logo of Python. So our Python has been successfully installed in our system. But if you want to check, let's move to the terminal, and here I will simply write Python 3 dash dash version. Yeah, and it will simply show me the Python version. So this suggests that Python has been successfully installed in your system and our first process is done. Now let's move and enjoy coding within Python. So here you will see that our first file name has been created. Now let's move to the website first, and here we have installed a Python. So here you can see a syntax. So this is a Python syntax. So according to the our coder world, so whenever you are learning a first language, the official thing you need to learn is a hello world text. How to print a hello world text. So you need to simply say a hello to your coding language that you are learning. So hello world you will find everywhere when you are starting any coding language. So here I will simply set hello to our Python world. So I will copy this, or let's do one thing. We'll simply write like print, and here I will simply use a double inverted comma and will write hello Python, or you can say hello world. Here we have wrote a print hello Python. Now to run this Python code, we need to simply move to the run and run without debugging. Now I will show you one thing. Here you can see that the text will be shown like you don't have an extension for debugging Python. So here you will see that we need an extension to run this Python code. Now you might think that we need to simply move to the other website and download a Python extension and all. So do not need to worry. The VS Code has their inbuilt extensions. So you will directly move to this extension section, and here you can simply search a Python, something like this, and just write in Python over here. So once you write a Python, you can see that there is a one version, it has been shown over here. So you can simply download a Python debugger because we need a Python extension for this one. So I'll simply click on install, and it will simply install this extension in my VS Code. So wait for a few seconds until it is installing. So yeah, so our Python debug extension has been run over here. Now I'll simply close this extension. Yeah, so now here you can see that print hello Python string. Now why I'm calling this string is because here you can see that it has written in the double inverted comma. So now the output we will get is exactly that have been wrote in the double inverted comma, so which will be hello Python. Now to run this output, I will simply click on this something play button, and here you can see that our code has been run successfully, and it simply shows that the output which is hello Python. So here you can see that by just using a print function, you can simply print an exact string by simply passing it in the double inverted comma. Now if I will remove Python and I will just write my name, which is Shivam, and will simply run this code again, then again it will show the same output that have been stored in this double inverted comma. Now you will think that why we have used a double inverted comma. Let's for an instance use a single inverted comma. So let's try and let's run this again, and you will see that a same thing. So there are no changes if you use a double inverted comma or single inverted comma, but the developers try to use double inverted comma because that strictly indicates as a string. Now you will think that let's pass a 3 inverted comma over here, and let's do same for here, and let's rerun this code again. So you will find that the same output, nothing changes. So the better thing like to always indicate a string with an double inverted comma. So yeah, so the string is something that indicates with an double inverted comma, and it will strictly pass the thing that you have wrote in the print function. Now after this, let's do one case. Let's remove this print function from here. Now let's write a variable name. So do not need to worry, will explain you what really variable mean here. So for an example, if I will write a variable name like name, and I will simply write here my name, which is Shivam. Yeah. Now I want to print this name. So in the print function, I don't need to write a Shivam again. I can simply print by passing that variable name. So we'll write print and we'll simply write a name, something like this. So P will be small, not capital. So make sure. Yeah. Now we'll simply run this again, and here you can see that it's simply exact output that we have passed in the variable name Shivam. So here it's done, and we have stored a Shivam string in a variable name. Here it has written, and we have simply passed that variable name in the print function. So this is how we can also print a string if we want, rather than passing exact string over here. So if I will do one case, like if I will write num is equals to 23. So I will write a num. A num means you can indicate as a number, and we need to print a number. So here I will simply write a num. Yeah. Now here I will rerun this code again, and we get an output 23. So we can simply print a number 2. So here you will think that why I haven't used a double inverted comma, but the double inverted comma will simply act as a string, not as a number. Now if I will put this double inverted comma, it will strictly act as a string, not a number. Now if I'll remove this, it will now act as an int, or you can say integer and a number. So here you can see that. Now let me show you the difference of number and the string, and what really I want to explain you. So here I will write one more number, like num1 is equals to 10. Yeah. So now I have wrote a two number, which is 23, and second one is 10. Now I want to simply print this two number. So I can simply write print num and number. Yeah. Now the output will be 23 and 10, something like this. Now I want to now add this two number. Now to add this two number, I will simply write num, and to add I will use a addition sign, and will write num1, something like this. And now we'll rerun the code again. So here you can see that we can simply get a addition of two number, which is 33. So by this case, you can simply print a output by storing a number on two variables, or you can say an integer, and you can simply show the sum in the print function. Now what I want to explain you that the reason why I haven't passed in the double inverted comma, because it will act as a string. Now if I will pass in double inverted comma, something like this, and now I want to like I will pass this, and I will tell them to add 23 and 10. So take a few seconds and think about it, because now it going to act as a string. So let me know what output you will get. So I will check a comment box, like how much percentage of the viewers are going to write a correct answer. So if you think that the result will be 33, then you are wrong, because this will now act as a string, because we have passed in a double inverted comma. So if now I will run this, you will see that 23 and 10. So it simply joins these two strings together, and it shows as 23 and 10, or you can say 2310. So it simply joined this two string rather than an addition. So you can see the difference of like why we haven't passed in the double inverted comma and to show the sum, and if we pass in double inverted comma, it will act as a string. So now I think so you got an idea what is a string and what is an integer. Yeah. So in simple words, you can simply write in your like if you are making a short notes for a Python or anything, if you want to show the string, simply show that in the double inverted comma, and if you want to show the number in the integer form, you can simply write a number without a double inverted comma. Now, next thing is double, or you can say a float. Now, what is double? So, for an example, if you want to show a currency in like a dollar form, like 23.10 cents, then you can use a double. So, here you will simply write 23.10. Now this num variable will act as a double, not as an integer, because we have passed 0.10. Okay, so double inverted comma, string, 23 only integer, 23.10 will be act as a double. Now if I will now add this 2, so we'll simply rerun this, we'll get an output 33.1. So now our output will also going to act as a double. Yeah, so we'll simply write 10.1. Yeah, now let's rerun this code again. So here you can see the output 33.2. So this is what we have learned, which is an double. So string done, integer done, double done. So now let's move to the our nodes of Python that I have shown you. So here you will simply move to the Python variables. I have teach you what variable is. Now we'll simply revise what we have learned. So here you can see that the example x is equals to 5 and y equals to John. So now you can simply know that x will act as an what? Integer, right? And y will act as an string. Now you already know the reason why I'm talking like x as an integer and y as a string. You can see that y is in double inverted comma, x is equals to 5, so it will act as an integer. Now the result, you will see that it has simply wrote that x is equals to 4, x is a type of integer, and x is equals to Sally, so it will act as a string. So this what I have taught you, and now I am 100% sure that you get to know what is int and a string. So I am sure that now you will never get confused what if I'll talk about integer, then what I meant about, and if I'm talking about string, then what I meant about. Yeah, now let's move forward. So here you can see that it has wrote, you can also write like this also. So this is a case for an example. If you don't want to simply show the in the form of double inverted comma or a number or a float, you can pass this function too, but I will indicate that let's use this in this way. Why? To make an extra effort to write a code. Our code will be really simple. You can pass this function to like simply change, like a string will be shown in 3, integer will be shown in 3, so it will simply convert the number into the different function you have passed. Now let's move to the segment like assign multiple values. So here you can see that for an example, if you have created a 3 variables like xyz, so here you can see a 3 variables xyz. Now you need to pass a string to these variables. Now you don't need to write like a string on the different lines. You can simply copy this, and I will show you the case like when I'll paste it over here and we'll simply run the code. Yeah, so here you can see that we can get a result like orange, banana and cherry. So x is orange, y is banana, and z is or z is cherry. So this is the case that you can use in a Python. So that's why Python is like a advanced programming language which can make your work very easy, because this case you mostly can't do in a C++ or anything. So x will be now be as an orange, y will be banana, and z will be cherry, and you can simply print this. So you don't need to write like in 3 lines. In just single lines you can simply assign a string. So this was the thing. So you can also write like this, like x equals to y equals to z, and if you want to provide a same string to all these variables, you can also do like this too. Now there will be one more case, like if you want to like assign like x is my and y will be name, and let's write is Shiva. Yeah, so this is a three strings that we have passed over here, but when I will rerun this, it will simply show this in the different lines. Now if you want to show in the same line, we will simply write x, y and z. Yeah, and now we'll rerun this code, and here you will see the output, my name is Shivam. So you can simply show a different words in the form of sentence by a print function, and you can simply pass, like you need to combine x variable with a y and y variable with a z. So this will simply make one sentence which is my name is Shivam. So there are the different cases that you are going to learn on this Python. It's make your work really easy. Like you can also write in x plus y plus z. So there are lots of cases. What better fits for you, you can go in your way. Yeah, so I have already teach you the addition of two variables, which is 5 plus 10, and it will simply show the result. Yeah, so here it is. Now let's revise what we have learned till now. So first one is variable. So our xyz is variable where we are storing a value, so it is a variable. Now we have learned about a different data types. So the data types will be integer, so we'll write an integer something like this, integer. And the second one was string, so we have learned a string. A third data type was, what was that? It is a float, or you can say a double. Yeah, so this is, so, and the fourth data type was a bool. Now I didn't taught you till now what is bool. So a bool is something where we store like a two command which is false and true. So it will act as in like, if this case will be true, then we are going to show true, and if the case will be false, then we are going to show the false by using the boolean character. So this is a four main data types that you will mainly learn in this Python code. So you have learned about variables and a data types. So integer, string, float or double or an boolean character. So usually int is written like int, something like this. So this is a numeric type, as you can see here. So int will be simply write like an int. You can, for double or float, you can write float, or in double you can simply write double like this, a double, and a float something like this. Yeah, but better if you are running a code, use a float rather than a double. If you are using a C++ code or Java code, I will suggest you to use a double, but if you are using a Python, let's go with a float. So first one is int, float, and for an string you can simply store like in the double inverted comma, or you can use a str numeric type for string, and for the boolean case you can simply write a bool. So this is a four main data types. Now you get to know a difference between a variable and a data type. So now let me show you fourth data type that I have taught you, which is a bool. Now for an example, if I will write a case like print, and I will compare like if 8 is greater than 9. So I will just write a case in the print function like if 8 is greater than 9. So now the result we are going to get is false. So 8 is not greater than 9. So here it simply show the result like it is false, and it is considered as a boolean character. So I will now simply switch like 9 is greater than 8. So it should print true. Yeah. So let's check that. And here I get a result true. So this is what our boolean character will work. So here you when you move to this, you can see that there will be a case like print 10 is greater than 9, so it will be true. 10 is equals to 9. You can also pass equals to. Now the equals to will be checked that if the 10 is exactly matched with a 9 or not. Now you can't pass 10 equals to 9. So a single equals to, so let me explain you. So for example, if I will write num is equals to 9, yeah. So here I will simply write like 9 is equals to 10, yeah. So this is a two case. So here you can see that I have used a single equals to. Now we are assigning a 9 to the num variable, yeah. So when you are assigning a value to an variable, use a what, a single equals to. Now if you are comparing that, if 9 is equals to 10, like both the numbers are same, so it will print like false. So here you can see that it simply pass a false. Now when I'll write a 10 over here, so it will simply tell me that like it will be true. So here you can see a true. So this is how a Python works. Not a Python works, this is usually how in all the coding functions. So this is how usually the code functions. So here you can see that num equals to 9. So now you get to know difference of single equal to and double equal to. So now we'll check that like this case. Now you will think that why I've used the exclamation mark over here. So here it means that 10 should not be equals to 10. It will act as an like should not be equals to. If we are using the if else, I will teach you what really if else will help in this Python. So here first learn that this is called as is not equal to. 10 should not be equals to 10. Then it will print what? It will simply print a false because it is equals to 10. But we have passed like should not be equals to 10. I think so you are getting what I'm trying to explain. So now if I will write 10 should not be equals to 9. So you will think that this case is true. So it will simply return me true. Yeah. So this is the case. So here you have learned about a single, like a single equals to, a double equals to, and a what should not be equals to. So these are the three operators. So these are called as an operators. So this operator will help us to simply check a different cases if we are running the code in the Python. So this is equals to, this is double equals to, and it is should not be equals to. Yeah. So I have told you the explain like explanation of these three operators and use of these three operators. So let's move to the our main topic, which is an operator. So here you can see that there are like some more operators like arithmetic operator, assignment operator, comparison operator. So the thing that I have shown you just now is a comparison operator because we are comparing a two values, like it should not be equals to, it should be equals to, like all. Now a logical operator, identity operator, membership operator, and bitwise operator. Now let's move to the first operator, which is an arithmetic operator. So arithmetic operator, in that arithmetic operator there comes our first, which is an addition. So in addition we'll simply show the addition of an two variables. So here you can see the addition logo, a subtraction logo, multiplication. You can see simply show a multiplication of two numbers like num is equals to, and let's keep a 10, yeah, and like num1 is equals to like 100, and let's print the multiplication of this two numbers. So we'll write num and we'll simply pass a multiplication sign, and here I will simply print this one. Now I'll run this and you can see a 1000. So it simply shows me the multiplication of this two numbers. So it will act as a multiplication. Yeah. Now a division. So division itself says that if I will pass division over here and will rerun this again, so we'll get 0.1. But if I will change like this, I will get a 10. Yeah, so 10.0. So it passed the value in the boolean character rather than an integer. Yeah, so you can pass something like this if you want to show that in the form of integer. Yeah, and like this you can run this, and now it will show as an integer. So the result was shown in the form of floating data type, but by just passing an integer, I simply tell the print function that the result I will get, it will be in the form of integer. So it will simply show the result in the form of integer. Yeah, now so this how we can simply change a case. So here you can see a modulus sign. Yeah, and a float division. So these two cases are usually not used as much what we have learned above. Like rest 5 are more important than rest 2. So don't think what really this exponentiation and everything float division. Now let's move our assignment operator. So as I have already teach you the use of assignment operator. So single equals to will assign a value. Like so here you can see that plus equals to. So you will think that what is plus equals to. So let me explain you the case. Like for an example, I will write x and will write plus equals to plus equals to 3. Yeah, and now we'll simply print a x. So let's assign the value first to the x, which is 5. Yeah, now we'll print an x, something like this, and let's run the code. So you will see the output we will get is an 8. So you can see that first we have assigned the value to x. Yeah, now we have told the x to increase the value by 3. So this will help to simply tell that increase a value by 3. So let me zoom the screen, otherwise you can't see what I'm trying to explain. So here you will see that x is equals to 5 and x plus equals to 3. So 5 will simply tell that, not 5 will, x will tell that to increase a value by 3. Now we can also write like this too, like x is equals to x plus 3. So this will simply, you can see that 5 will be passed over here and it will be like print like 5 plus 3. Yeah, so this is how it will simply pass an result, but you can also write like this way. So plus equals to, yeah, now if I will write here minus, it will say now show me the result. What if you are telling it 2, then you are right. Now it will show me the result 2. So now it simply says that to decrease a value by 3. Now if I'll pass multiply, now tell me the result in the comment box. If you speak, I can't listen, you can tell me in the comment box. Now I will simply run the output and I will get a 15. Yeah, so this is how it works. And if I'll pass a divide sign, and now we'll get an thing in a decimal form. So this is how this our operator works, and you can simply just passing a single thing like plus equals to minus equals to, you can simply increase or decrease the value. So this is very easy. You can keep on writing a notes if you want, because this is a small thing that, or you can simply follow that website that I've shown you, because it has wrote in much a clear way. So here you can see that what this operator means and how it will simply look as when you will pass as a variable. So here it is. Now the same thing over here. Yeah, so these are some more operators, but I'm going to teach you for now the main operators that we are going to use in our Python, rather than some less used operators maybe in future I'm going to teach if we are going to use any of these operators, but mainly these are the four operators for now, which is an assignment operators. Yeah, now let's move with our comparison operator. I've already teach you the use of double, like it will help to compare. So it will simply compare should not be equals to, I've tell you that x should not be equals to y, something like this. I've already explained you the greater than, uh, smaller than sign, greater than or equals to. Now this is a case. Let's move and I'll show you. So here you can see that first variable is x. Now let's pass a second variable which will be y. So here I passed a two variable and integers in both that variable. Now I will show you the case, like we are going to use this case which is greater than or equals to. So we'll write x should be greater than or equals to y. Yeah, so let's pass this variable over here. So 5 should be greater than or equals to 3. Yeah, so let's first simply tell in mind, like 5 should be greater than or equal to 3. So it will simply hit that it is true. Yeah, so let's rerun this and you will see the case like true. Yeah, so if you are thinking about a true, then you are correct. And now when I'll pass like 5 equals to 5, and now let me know the result. So if you are thinking it is false, then you are wrong, because it will be true. So it will act as an or. So we'll simply write like 5 should not be greater. So yeah, 5 is not greater than 5. It is false. Now or, it will now act as an or. So first case is false. Now or is equals to. So it will now check like if 5 is equals to 5. Yes. So it will act as an or. You can like so on this way. Let me explain you. So how it will be shown, like 5 is greater than 5, and it will show like a second case 5 is equals to 5. So if any of these two case will be true, sorry, equals to, not equals to, so equals to, if any of this case will be true, then it will simply print an output true. Yeah, so I think so you are getting, like it is an or case. Like if this case is false, then this must be true to show the print true. And if both the case will be false, like if I will pass like 10 over here and now I will print an output, it will show me the false, because both the case are false. Nor 5 is greater than 10, nor 5 is equals to 10. Now if I will reverse this sign to smaller than, then it will be true. Yeah, so it will be true. So this is a magic, you can say a magic of coding, and how the coding is work, and it is very exciting to code, and that's why I love coding. So this is how the our operator works. Now this what it has written over here. So this is one of the most useful operator that has been used in the Python. Yeah, now let's move to the our fourth operator, which is a logical operator. Now here you can see the and. Now and, or, and not. So these three are a logical operator. Now let me explain you one by one the use of and or, and not. So this is a first case, x should be less than 5, x should be less than 10. So here if I will pass like x, let's pass like as x and 30. Now x should be less than what, 50, and I will simply write and. Now here you can see that it simply shows the this operator in a purple sign. So this is the use of our VS Code, and how the VS Code simply change the color of a different operator and makes the code really exciting. So here this is the first case, x 30 should be less than 50, it is true. And so here it is not an or, it is and. Like this case should be true, and like our second case, which will be x should be less than 100. Yeah. So 30 is less than 50 and 30 is less than 100. Output we will get, which will be true. Yeah. Now here, if I will change to 20, now this case is true and this is false because 30 is not less than 20. So now it will show me the false, and it will show the output false. So because and says that this case should be true and this case also should be true. So if both the case will be true, then it will be okay. So simply think like and like a motorcycle tire. So if there will be a two tires over there, and if both the tires are there, then the motorcycle will be working. Now if any of the motorcycle tire is puncture, then the motorcycle will not going to work. Yeah, I'm correct. Or if you think that you will simply run that motorcycle with a puncture, then that's risky thing. So never work with a risky thing. So here you can see that both case should be true, like in motorcycle. So both tire will be there, then it will be true, and your motorcycle will going to work. So yeah. And now here you will see an or. Now our second operator, you can say logical operator, which is an or. So here you can see that first case will be tell that x is less than 50. It is true. Yeah. Or like this case will be true and this case is false. Then also it will print like true, because if any of these two case must be true, so it will simply print like and true. So yeah, so how it is going to work, like if this case is true and if this case is false, then not a problem, let's print true. If both case will be false, like if I'll pass 10 over here and both the case are false, then it will show the false. Yeah. And if both the case will be true, then it's okay. Yeah, now the both case is true, then it will simply show the true. Yeah, so this is how our and or is going to work. So think about and as a motorcycle where the two tires, and the two tires should be in a working form so that our motorcycle will be work. So this is how our and work. Yeah. So not is something like, for an example, if like I will simply pass a not over here, something like this. I will write a not. Yeah, like this. Yeah. Now the both the case are true. Like yeah, so x 30 is less than 50 and 30 is less than 100. So both cases are true. But the not says that I want the result to be false. So this both the case will be false, then the result will be true. I hope that you are getting what I'm trying to explain. Like if both the case is true, then not will tell that both the case are true, then show false. Yeah, so it will now simply show the false. And now if both case will be true, like for an example, if I will pass both the case will be false, sorry. So like 30 is not less than 10 and 30 is not less than 20, so both the case will be false. So now not will get a result like the thing in the double in a bracket are false, then it will tell that yeah, the function that I have is false, then it is true. So it will simply pass a true. So this is how our operators going to work. Now let's move, yeah, fifth operator. So let's move to our fifth operator, which is an identity. So here the identity is the same thing, like x is y. So it will simply act as an equals to. You can simply take as a double equals to. Is and is not are widely not used in a Python, because you can simply use as and double invert equals to or not equals to sign. So don't, you need to not exactly learn about an identity operator, because these are not used variably y and developer in a Python. Yeah, so a membership operator. Now the next operator is membership operator. Now the membership operator is simply says that if like why think like why this operator name like membership. So for an example, here I will create a list. Now you will think that what is list, how this list come here. So what is list, let me explain you. So for an example, x is equals to, and to create a list we need to use a square bracket. Now it will act as a list, and in this list I can store a multiple strings. Now there was a case like we are going to store a one string in a one variable, but now the case come here where we can store a multiple strings in a single variable. Now to store a multiple string, I will simply write Shivam. So this is a first username. I will write a second username Ayush, and the third username, let's keep it Shyam. Yeah, so these are the three username that have stored in a single variable which is an x. So if you want to store a multiple strings, numbers or anything in a single variable, you can use a list. And to nullify a list or to show the list, you can simply show a square bracket and it will act as a list. Yeah, so now you get to know the use of list over here. Now, the membership operator adds the namespace membership. So, for example, I will write one more string y is equals to, and will store a string in our y variable which is an x. Yeah. Now, I will now write like x in y. Yeah. So, x in y. So let's print this case so that I can show you. So we'll write a print function x in y. Yeah. So let's give y in x. Yeah. Yeah. So here now the membership operator will simply tells that why this operator name membership has been kept. I'm not keeping a logic why it is exactly kept as a membership operator, but I'm making it easy for you all, like to really learn that, and you don't need to simply remind that what is membership operator and everything. If you learn operators in a funny way, it will simply keep stuck in your mind, and you don't need to learn like was this bitwise operator, a membership operator, logical operator. If you simply make a thing easy by taking as an example, you can get to know about operator in no time. Yeah, so here what this membership operator is going to tell like y in x. So for an example, does Ayush or y operator has a membership of an x. So if this y variable string where Ayush has been stored, and this Ayush has a membership of an x string, yeah, x list. So you can see that Ayush is in the x list. Y string has a membership of an x, so it will simply show me the true. So if like I will simply write like Dinesh, thus Dinesh has a membership of an this club. Let's write it club. Let's write it club here, so I can explain you. And let's write it user. User in club. Yeah, so let's make it easy for you. So this, for an example, this is an club, and in this club there are three members, Shivam, Ayush and Shyam. Now there come one more user named Dinesh, and Dinesh is standing outside a club, and he is finding that if he had a membership of this club or not. So the membership operator will simply see that if this user Dinesh has a membership of this club list or not. So here you can see that the a membership operator will simply match like each string on this list, and it will pass that no false, like the Dinesh doesn't have a membership of this club. So you will find the result like false over here. Now I will write Shivam over here, and now it going to check like if this Shivam has a membership of this club or not. So it will simply check a string one by one. Yes. So here you can see that this string, or you can say this user Shivam has a membership of this club. So now it simply pass like true. So this is how membership plan going to work, and I tried to make like in an easy way how this membership operator you are going to learn. Not learn, it will simply stuck in your mind, because whenever someone say what is membership operator, now you will simply think about a club. Yeah, so you don't need to remind like what is like in, or it was an like not in, yeah, what it was bitwise operator or anything. So it will simply make it easy for you, like you can simply think like, yeah, membership was has a connection of a club, so there will be like in. So if this variable have an access of an list, then we can use in over here. So this is how you can simply learn a different operators by just making it in a simple way. So this is how a membership operator going to works, and it is simply, you see that a not in operator is also there. So the reverse of in is a not in. So like Shivam should not be present on this club membership, then it will show the true or false case. Yeah. So now let's move to the our last operator, which is a bitwise operator. Now let me explain you what bitwise operator is. So as you can see that it has clearly written that bitwise operators are used to compare a binary number. Now what is a binary number? So a binary number is something that's it is in the form of 0 or 1. So for an example, in the Python you write a code in the form of English words. So the machine that understand that code not in the English word but in the form of 0 and 1. So Python usually converts, or you can say every coding language usually converts that English language into the form of 0 and 1. So 0 and 1 simply indicates like if there is a voltage flowing, then it will show the 1, and if there is no voltage flowing, then it will show a 0. So in the form of 0 and 1, it understand the code that you have passed in that coding language, and that is called a binary number, that it is represented in the form of 0 and 1. So whenever you want to like compare a two binary number, we need to use a bitwise operator like for and, or. So these are the operators that you can use, and you can see that this is how bitwise operator has been seen. So this is in the form of 0 and 1, basically high voltage and low voltage. So by this way the computer understands the language of the programming that you have passed. Okay, so this was all the operators that I have teached you today, and today we have covered our variables, operators, different data types. I have shown you how to install a Python and how to write a code and how to print a code. So if you liked my first lecture in a Python, because there will be some more lectures, as I've told you, this will be a long series where I'm going to teach you a complete Python from the starting. So please hit that like button and show your support, because I have tried my best to explain you the Python in the easiest way as possible. And but let me know in the comment box, and if you have any questions regarding the Python or anything, you can simply drop at the comment box, or if you want to get a quick reply or something, you can directly ping me on my Instagram ID. So until then, keep coding, keep having fun. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.